Less than a week ago, we completed the purchase of our new home. Now we face one of sailing's greatest foes, a hurricane. We're Paige, Daniel, and Winston. 6 months and nearly 6,000 miles ago, we made the decision to abandon our careers for a life of full-time travel and exploration. This week, we prepare for the incoming storm and ride it out inside our floating home. To the adventure.
To the adventure.
This is an extremely dangerous, life-threatening situation for much.
So since we decided to buy a boat, we have been taking a look at the tropics and the weather to make sure that, just to look at hurricanes, see what hurricanes are, if they're forming, where they're going. One of the storms that I've been tracking and looking at for the past week, this morning has now been upgraded to a potential Category 3 landfall somewhere in the Florida Gulf Coast. So it's going to go across the Florida Gulf Coast and go right over us. At least that's the way the track is looking at right now. So by the time it gets here, it'll still be a Category 1 hurricane. Being from the Gulf Coast of Texas, a Category 1 hurricane is just a long storm to me.
Well, yeah, he's from the Gulf Coast of Texas. I'm from the interior, as our Canadian friends call it.
Yes.
So I'm not really used to hurricanes.
We have tarps and shade cloths and all that kind of stuff because it's still, on a roasting setting outside. So we're just gonna have to wait until the storm gets a little bit closer and start pulling everything down. We gotta pull down the head sail. We gotta take all the tarps and stuff off. We gotta button this place up because a Category 1 storm is still, I'll put the metrics down on what makes a Category 1 storm. You can see, and those are sustained winds for a long time. So if things aren't buttoned down and lashed down, they can get hairy.
Yeah.
So
our first hurricane.
Woohoo!
We've been on board for 5 days.
Yep.
And we woke up this morning and found that little storm has developed.
Yeah, it's.
And when are we expecting landfall?
Thursday-ish.
Okay, so we still have several days.
We'll have to just keep watching it and see how it goes. That's the miracle of modern technology. We can watch a storm from 1,000 miles away and prepare accordingly.
Yeah. All right, so you guys, we're going to take you along for our hurricane prep. What we're going to do, because, oh my God, we need food and water.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll fill up the tanks with water.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to do all that. My goodness.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
We need more dock lines. All these things, I'm like, oh, wait, we need this. We need more.
Yes. Yeah, projects that were on a certain priority level have now changed.
Yeah, I guess that's just part of the boat life. You have to be a little flexible.
Sometimes the plot twists.
So I know Daniel's feeling pretty confident and nonchalant about the whole hurricane thing. This is kind of new to me, so I'm feeling a little anxious, is a good way to say that. Not knowing exactly what we have or exactly what we need. So that's what we're doing right now. Daniel is tightening up some of our, what are they called?
Fenders. Dock lines. I'm just getting the fenders a little bit lower so the bottoms are just touching the water. That's kind of nice happy medium to where the dock meets the boat. So just adjusting them a little bit.
So he's got that taken care of. While I am going through our lockers in the bow to see what we have, how many extra lines we have. So if we need to tie extra, dock lines, we can. We have lots. I think we have lots. We were sitting at the table earlier. I was like, oh my God, I have no idea how much we have. So now it's like, okay, I feel a little better. We at least have a lot of line. We needed to do some more tying on the boat to the dock. I think we're covered. Don't you, darling?
I do. Feel good about it. We're not expecting it really until Thursday or Friday. At most 5 days until normal services are restored. If something that happens, the Category 1 storm, normal services should be restored pretty quickly. This is a hurricane-prone area, so this is probably not their first rodeo.
It's my first rodeo, so it's a funny story. I got a job teaching in Houston ISD, and I moved to Houston exactly 1 week before Hurricane Ike hit the Houston Metroplex. So I basically moved to Houston, Kemah specifically, and then I immediately evacuated. So yeah, I've never been through a hurricane. My first one. First of many, no doubt. So, plot twist is all strapped up to the dock. The fenders have been adjusted, and we have some spare line just in case if we need it. Winston is not happy about being inside, but it's cooler in there, and Winston, hush. All right, so we got up early this morning and took care of some stuff outside because it is freaking hot. And now we are checking radar to see the progress of this hurricane coming our way. And darling, is it gonna miss us?
Totally gonna miss us. No, but it has moved further north. At least the predicted track is it moving further north. Yesterday we were right on the center line of the eye, coming right over top of us. But it's actually moved further north or northerly away from it.
Lucky us.
Yeah.
See, things are turning around.
Yes.
Looking good.
Yes. Everything going our way.
Everything is awesome.
So we'll just keep an eye on it, keep our fingers crossed, and just pretend like we're gonna get a direct hit.
Totally. We have been on board for less than a week, and these steps have proven to be the biggest hazard so far. All three of us, Daniel, Winston, and myself, have slipped on these steps. So I am giving them a good clean before applying this lovely grip tape. It is an 80 grit with a high-vis strip. It's reflective. So Winston will hopefully be able to see the step because his eyesight's not so great. And we will all have some traction and hopefully not go slipping down the steps like we have done. So that's the project today. I think it's actually kind of important to get done before the hurricane because it's supposed to be a bumpy ride, and yeah, this is going to be helpful for everybody. Whew. All right, so we had a little change plans. Daniel was out doing laundry at the clubhouse, and wind started with rain I was telling you guys about, so I went out and took down the solar
Shades.
Thank you. Solar shades and tarp, and Daniel comes in, and so I think we just spent the past hour folding up all the shades and then tucking everything away. We filled up our water tanks, and we actually took the opportunity to scrub the deck. I mean,
it needed it.
It did. It really did need it. So.
And once you get to this point of wet, it's like you're not getting any wetter. So.
Seriously.
Just take advantage.
We did. We just like let's just do this. But now we are soaking.
It's cold here.
Yeah, compared to outside, it's chilly in here. So I took the opportunity to change. Now Daniel just came inside and he is dripping wet.
Yep.
So.
Got a tarp to put away, and then I'm gonna go change.
But we have lots of leaks that we will definitely find with all this rain. So,
yay!
At least now we'll know. Now we'll know where the leaks are. I mean, it's a boat. It's bound to leak.
Yes. Yeah.
So we just have to do the due diligence and fix it. Easy.
Absolutely.
Here's our to-do list that we were working on earlier. Daniel did the laundry. We have the water tank kind of topped off. We made ice, a ton of ice. Stowed the shade cloths. That was fun. The last thing we have on our list is the jerry cans with diesel. That's not gonna happen. Not that we won't be okay. We'll be fine. We have enough diesel to run the engines. We have enough diesel to run the engines in case if we run out of power. for any reason, we can run the engines and refill our batteries if necessary. We do have 900 amp hour batteries, so we should be good for a while. Our batteries are topped off right now, so we'll see. We probably don't need that though. We'll be okay. We'll let you know if we don't, or if we made a mistake and we actually do need them. With the head sail removed and the mainsail tied up tight, we felt prepared for the oncoming storm. And as a last minute kind of thing, we are going to move the car away because no one else is parked here. The high tide is like right here. So I'm pretty sure with any kind of storm surges that might be coming up, the water would easily come up a little higher and reach the car. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and move it. Right, Winston? Yeah, let's move her.
All right, so a quick storm update before we head to bed on Tuesday night. The storm track has moved further north, so we are no longer in the cone of probability or anything like that. So that's good news. We're still going to get hit with a whole bunch of wind and probably some rain, but it's not going to be directly over top of us. So we did everything that we're supposed to do, took everything down, lashed everything down, everything is tucked nicely away where it's supposed to be. We got a great taste of some heavy winds and rain this afternoon, and I think we're pretty well prepared. We'll see what it looks like in the morning, and we are expecting winds to arrive 7, 8 a.m. We'll see how it looks then.
It is about 5:30 in the morning, so I'm taking Winston out for walkies because that's really important to him. And I don't know how much of an opportunity he's going to have to do that today. Hopefully we don't have any accidents inside. Right now, the west coast of Florida is getting hit pretty hard with hurricane. So it is very calm here right now. We got a little sprinkling, just a little of a breeze. All right, so we have a kind of first daylight going on. Winston and I went on walkies earlier, so all is well there. But so now we're just kind of waiting. Right now it's about 13 knots. We're expecting to get more exciting around 1:30. We're going to hit about 25 knots of sustained wind in this little area here. So yeah, let me show you guys what this looks like right now. So the primary wind is going to be coming up that way. Got everything tied down. That boat looks like it's bouncing pretty well already. You can see the hurricane has made landfall, and we are currently in Brunswick. It's about 18 knots right now in Brunswick, and you can see that the heavier wind is to the east. It's going to be off the coast, and we are tucked way in here. So we're not going to experience the harsh winds that's going to be out here. So it's still pretty calm right now, relatively. Everyone is just kind of waiting. It's a waiting game. It's weird. It is 7:40 on Wednesday morning. It is blowing about 15, 20 knots. It's pretty early, and this is what it's looking like. It was actually increased over the night, didn't it?
Yes, yeah. The hurricane did strengthen. It looks like it's going to make landfall as a Category 4, and as it makes its way through Florida and into Georgia, it'll lose power, and by the time it gets here, it should be somewhere between a Category 2, Category 1, maybe tropical depression. It just really depends on how it moves through land.
be honest, I am nervous. This is my first kind of hurricane. And I think we just got some kind of an alert on our phones.
Yes.
What does it say, darling?
Tornado warning.
A tornado? That's a warning, incoming tornado.
Yes.
I should probably turn on channel 16.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, let's do that. See any areas where they might be chafing?
You see anything?
No. What do you think?
I mean, so far so good. Just coming out here, checking lines, tightening anything that might need to be tightened while we have some break in the rain. Wind is pretty consistent in that.
About 20 knots.
Yeah, about that 20 knots. It's, plus or minus 2 or 3 knots from there. So
It's
things
only
are
going to
warming
get
up.
windier.
Yeah, things are warming up. You can. I don't know if you can see, but out there in the
Oh, yeah.
out there in the bay.
Let's see, it's really... I'm glad we're not out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is not unexpected. So just keeping us tight.
What are you doing? What are you concerned about?
Trying to prevent as much rocking.
Oh,
At this time, you need to hunker down and shelter in place across the southeast Georgia. This is an extremely dangerous, life-threatening situation for much of inland southeast Georgia. The tornado watch continues through 3 p.m. this afternoon for much of the area. Storm surge potential will increase today, especially along the southeast Georgian coast, where life-threatening inundation of greater than 3 feet above ground level is possible. A surge of 1 to 3 feet is possible along the northeast Florida coast and the St. John's River and its tributaries in Dunville County today.
Well, it's moving fast, so that's a good thing. But it just means it's not going to die down very much by the time it crosses our path. So we'll just stay vigilant.
do you still feel good about our lines?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, we're catching a kind of a lull in the wind right now. I think some other folks are out checking their lines, so it might be prudent just to double check, but I feel good about them. But tighter is always better.
We went out again to tighten the lines before the winds picked up again. Before we knew it, the storm was blowing 35 knots inside our protected inlet. It was a strange feeling. We did everything we knew to do, and now we hunker down and wait for the storm to pass.
I'm just glad this happened during the day. Otherwise, it'd be a very long night.
So we're sustained at about 30 knots now. We're gusting up to about 40 just now. Oh, there we go, 40 knots.
We hit 40.
41, 42, 41. Yeah, so that was gusty. Got quite a bit more chop in the water now. Our lines are holding tight. Everything is well. And while it's blowing 40 knots outside, Daniel is in here cooking up a storm.
Oh, we got 8.
What are you making?
Beef fajita pasta.
Tasty.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Here we got all the tasty veg stuff, so let's do that.
All right, so we just lost power, which is fine. It's just fine. It's not a big deal. We just switched off everything. There's some chatter on the radio. Other people in the marina asking if power's out. So it's confirmed. It sounds like there's no power throughout the entire marina, which isn't that much of a surprise, right, darling?
That's right.
So, I mean, it's fine. We switched on. We're just running off of our battery power now. Looks like we're gusting pretty good right now. Goodness.
Okay.
Winston, we're gonna stay inside. We're staying inside. Outside is all done. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. No power. Daniel actually just
Something north of 60 below by there, or north of 50 below that by there a second. Clubhouse is running out of power.
So, Daniel actually just finished making lunch.
That last gust is north of 50, and the yacht club's out of power.
So the whole marina is out of power, and we're gusting north of 50.
But yeah, things are spicy. Easy, sustained mid 30 knots, up into the 40s. Getting reports of some higher gusts further south in the lower numbered docks, pushing 70, 80. So we're in a good spot. But yeah, it is getting spicy. The white caps are really pushing up this channel here. A lot of spray coming off, so it's...
Doesn't look like much in this picture. It's like really, you have a little bit of little wave action. It's like, no, that's like, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, our biggest concern now that the power is out is that we are running off our battery bank, and while it is a pretty deep bank, running the air conditioner does draw a lot of power. Normally, our solar panels, which are pretty good, can compensate for our usage on the air conditioner, but on a very cloudy day like it would be under a hurricane, we're not getting a whole lot of input from our solar. So we gotta try and balance our power usage as best as we possibly can. That's our next challenge.
We have some break in the clouds. We're about 800 watts solar right now.
Okay. Do you think we should put up the reflectings?
Yeah. And we just won't be able to see as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the way that we want to be able to see.
I was checking this morning and it said that the wave action would get to 0.8 meters, which is pretty good for this inlet.
We're probably going to have about 2 or 3 hours more of it coming directly up the channel where we're at, and then it's going to slowly shift over to the west. So that'll be coming over the marshlands, which is better. It's going to act kind of as a windbreak for us and slow down these waves, which are rocking us pretty good. So just kind of got to get through the next 2 or 3 hours and hold it together. Now hold fast.
So I know Daniel, he is so cool, calm, and collected, and I really appreciate that, but I'm a little, to be honest, a little nervous. It's really not that bad. It's just when you think about all the other boats and everyone's just kind of rocking back and forth, and we're all just kind of hoping that we did everything right. We're all just hoping that our lines hold to the dock, hoping that the docks don't fall apart, because there's an issue apparently in dock 4 downwind from us that is having some structural issues, unknown severity. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's just a bit nerve-wracking to me. It's pretty intense. And while a gust of, 25, 30, 40 knots isn't that bad, it's that sustained that is a little overwhelming. What did you say?
Yeah, it kind of grates on you.
Yeah, it's just like, I gotta hold this together for another 3 to 4 hours. I can do that. We are in this for another few hours.
Yeah.
And they sustained 45, gust to 60 knots has been reported. So we're just kind of waiting it out now. I don't think there's anything else we really can do. We're just playing some cards.
Yeah, I think a lot of those high speeds have been at the very front of the marina where it's open and there's not a lot of boats in the way. So, I'm counting a blessing on that. I'm just
Yeah, seriously. But we're just waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting for all this to pass. And it is just like I just sit here and just stare out the window. We made it through. We have survived.
Yeah, there was no doubt.
No doubt. There was no doubt. But it was my very first hurricane, so yay! I do want to point out that there were some boats on the far side of our marina, like the outside of the marina, that got hit kind of bad. They just...
Yeah, they took the brunt of it, with all the wind and waves coming in from the south. They're on the south side of the marina.
But at the St. Simon's Marina, they're actually sunken boats.
Yeah, there was a lot of damage there.
Yeah.
More than just, than just rash from rubbing up on the docks. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was.
Some of them are
bad.
underwater and crushed, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we weren't there. I'm glad we were here. It's our power was restored. We were without power for 3-4 hours.
Yeah, 4-ish. Yeah.
So, and our batteries did just fine. We were comfortable. How we started the day is how we're going to end it, by walking Winston.
Yeah.
Because that's important. Poor pups. I got him up at 5:30 this morning so that he could use the restroom before it started pouring down rain and windy and all that jazz. And he's been very good today.
He's been awesome today. He's just been hanging out, following us around like he normally does. Nothing seemed to bother him at all.
That's right.
So, good dog.
All is well.
So, let's take him for walks.
Yep, let's do it.
Walk time.
Still quite windy. Winston's got to do his business.
This was our first week aboard our new home, and it felt like an appropriate initiation into the lifestyle. It serves as a great reminder that storms in our lives may feel overwhelming, but we know that it will pass. Through turbulent times, we develop a humble confidence to weather the next big storm.